Well, in different cultures, there's different boundary norms,
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that it can look different in different families, but
Mm-hmm.
your typical American family where the kids are going to be functioning within the mainstream American culture, it is important to set boundaries,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I think that in my household, it was never okay. I didn't learn about setting boundaries until much later down the road, till after I had children, actually.
Oh, right. Then Mother Hen came out, right?
And I was like, oh, wow, it's okay. And thank God, this one of my mentors recently passed away. Her name was
Hmm.
Jean Ilsley Clark. I don't know if you ever read any of her books, but
Mm-mm.
amazing lady. And when I was, parenting my first two, and I was still just a baby, she wrote a book called Growing Up Again, which was specifically for parents who were in recovery from substance use.
Mm.
And I got into recovery when I started having babies. And the book just really helped me a lot. I mean, I read all the parenting books because I was conscious that I didn't have any healthy parenting models
Mm-hmm.
in my memory, so I needed to borrow from others. And but this one, Growing Up Again by Jean Ilsley Clark, really grounded me in healthy, conscious parenting. And unlike a lot of parenting books, she wrote a lot about how to do it rather than what not to do, which is what most
Ah.
parenting books do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was great. And yeah, yeah. When I do the edit of this live, I'm gonna throw in some affirmations from that book because they really help me figure out not only how to help myself um, set boundaries with people, but to encourage my kids to set boundaries.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't learn boundaries till I was 55.
Well, better late than never,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Never too late, people.
That's right. It's never too late. It's funny because as I'm watching people who talk about um, healing trauma, there's a lot of women in middle age who I'm seeing like are saying, "Oh, I'm finally healing my trauma." So I don't think it's that uncommon of a thing, and we get to finally live. And I think happiness comes with experiencing a little anger to set boundaries with. It just really is. Like yesterday, I have an adult developmentally delayed daughter who lives in a 24-hour supervision home. And yesterday she sent me a text message saying, "Mom, I really need to talk to you about something. Can I call you?" And I said, I know it's a manipulation, but I'm like, okay, because she's supposed to call me once a month, and she's doing very well, but she needs that level of supervision.
Mm.
So she called me and she's like, "Mom, I miss you. When am I gonna see you?" And like doing like a super whole sad thing. And again, the don't F with me anger came up. And I'm like, okay, kiddo, 25-year-old kiddo, I know that you're happy. I know that you have a boyfriend. I know that you have a job you love. I know you have friends. So it's not okay to call me and try to make me feel guilty. And she goes, and she whenever I catch her, she's got an IQ of 74. Whenever I catch her in something she's trying to do, she gives me a certain smile. Right?
She has a tell.
She has a tell. Yeah. And so I said that to her and I said, "I know you're happy." And she went, "Sorry, Mom." Right? But even that, like that level of nope, nobody's going to step on me with her came out. And I'm like, she goes, "Well, can I still call you? Are you mad at me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad at you. But don't call me and pretend your whole life is miserable because you haven't talked to me recently." She's like, "Okay." And then she's like, "I did really good in my job," right? And I was able to Ah.
Oh.
But for me, with this child, my boundary was always crossed, and I participated because I wanted her to be happy. And, she's got 1,000 diagnoses. One of them is major depressive disorder with psychotic features.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought a good mom has happy kids. So I adopted a depressed kid, right, who heard her first voices when she was 4. Like, there's nothing I could do about that. And so anytime she used that manipulative strategy to pull me in, she learned very early, if I look really sad, my mom will just do everything she can to rescue me. That's a boundary, and I participated with it. And I think sometimes we have to get angry on our own behalf. And, it took a lot of work recognizing why I had let go of the idea of that anger is okay. But it took a lot of work to get to the point where I'm like, no, actually, this is not okay. And it does make me a little mad. So I'm going to set a boundary with you right now. It doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean I'm rejecting you. Doesn't mean anything like that. But it's healthy for me to feel a little pissed off sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And over time, I feel like the more we practice setting boundaries, the less likely that anger accompanies it. We just
Probably.
get used to it. Like, okay, there was a boundary violation. That's not okay with me, and either they step back or we walk away,
So wait, so are you telling me that once you learn how to set boundaries and keep
Mhm.
boundaries, you don't have to have anger to fuel it anymore?
Right.
Well, I just learned something.
Yeah. It's a stage I found it really common that anger will be paired with boundary setting because we're not used to it, right? So we get and then once we get used to it, then I can even find it amusing sometimes when somebody tries to violate a boundary, like because it's just funny to me because I'm not going along, so they're doing something funny.
So let me ask you then, when you don't go along and you're not going along,
Yeah.
what is the emotion that goes with the boundary? What is it that you feel when that happens?
It just feels right to set it. And I'm often amused at their behavior because it's ridiculous,
Oh, so it just feels right to say, so it's like saying, this is where my skin ends, don't pass it. And that's all. Well, gosh, I look forward to that.
I was camping last week with some friends, right? And some I've known for a while, some were brand new. And this man came up to me and was mansplaining something, and trying to act all authoritative. And I just laughed. And I was like, or you could be completely wrong. That's how it is. It's much easier these days.
Oh,
But
that's wonderful.
It's due to really good therapy and mentorship and spiritual work that I've been able to get to this place where it doesn't make me angry anymore when people try to violate my boundaries.
Well, that's good. It's a good thing to know. I actually am looking forward to that level of growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's a good first. I might be still doing toddler work.
Could be. I mean, do you feel really comfortable when you say no?
Saying no isn't hard for me.